was playing. I was actually using that band. I was like singing it when it was going on.
Welcome in, guys. It is Brad and John, and we are here to do another episode of Wildcat Weekly, and we have a bunch of stuff to get to.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
All right, welcome in, guys. John's laughing and cutting up already before we even get on the air. What's up, John?
I'm good, man. I'm just having a good time over here, brother.
Yeah, I see that. All right, guys, welcome in. It is College Sportscast. We're here to do another episode of Wildcat Weekly. We're in week 14. This is the last week of college football. And we have a bunch of Kentucky stuff to get to tonight. We're going to start out with the first thing that I want to talk about is our Facebook, man. If you're on Facebook with us, man, we appreciate you. We are getting very, very close to 7,000 on our page, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Share, tell people, share our stuff. We appreciate all the comments we're picking up, and you can subscribe to our page for just 99 cents a month, and it does help us continue to make these for you. It does give you your own chat and your own subscribers page that you can post as well. So we just appreciate each and every one of you. If you are on YouTube with us, we appreciate you as well. Man, our YouTube is growing just as much as just about anything is. So just want to say that we appreciate you as well. Like and subscribe if you are on YouTube or on Facebook with us. We appreciate each and every one of you. All right, John, we are going to start out tonight, man, with Kentucky women's basketball. They got a huge win this week on Tuesday. No, let's see. Saturday. It was on Saturday night. I'm losing track of what day it is. On Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, actually, they went on the road and got a huge win on the road over the number 21 ranked Louisville Cardinals. And there it is. Get that up for you, John. What did you think about the game, the way they played?
They paint 40-24 in the paint. They out-rebounded the Cards 41-27. It was a physical game. They was the aggressor all night. You had Clara Strack with 17, 10 rebounds, a double-double. Tiani Key had 17 points, 8 rebounds. You had Tony Morgan, the engine of the team, the star guard. She had 19 points, 7 assists, 5 boards. I'll say this, Brad. If the Wildcats continue to do what they're doing with Tony Morgan and continue to feed these post players and get it out to the perimeter, it's going to be a hard team to beat.
I appreciate that, Tim. Tim saying that he shared to some Facebook groups and his. I appreciate that. Appreciate you being here, man. Yeah, man. This game, John, in the second quarter, Louisville actually took a 6-point lead, 27-21. And Coach Brooks called the timeout and come out of a timeout, and Kentucky pretty much took over the game from that point on.
Yeah, this ain't your same old Kentucky women's basketball program, Brad. Kenny Brooks has got this program in good hands. This is just his second year. They're playing with a lot of swagger, a lot of physicality. Beating Louisville is one thing, but physically dominating them and beating them on their home floor is a totally different animal. And you've seen that Saturday. They got a big game coming up against Maryland, which we're going to find out where the Cats are really standing at in I think it's the Puerto Rico Classic. So we'll find out where the Cats really stand here pretty soon because the Cats' schedule gets a little tougher.
Yeah, John, in this game, I want to talk about the run in the third quarter here against the Louisville Cardinals. I mean, Jeff Walls is a great coach, and that Louisville program he has had near the top. They've been in the Final Four. They've been in the final game. I mean, this program has been right at the top of women's college basketball for a long time. And on Saturday, after halftime, the Cats come out, man, and just played stifling defense.
Yeah,
they won the third quarter 20-6, John, and Louisville missed 14 straight shots in the third quarter.
Yeah, they was 3 of 20. They shot 15%. They couldn't hit shots. The Cats were feeding in the post. They just physically dominated. Well, let's just be honest. It was a master class on the defensive side of the ball. Now, Louisville did try to make a run, I felt like, in the fourth, but it was just a little too late for them to get back in the game. Big win for them. Tony Morgan, Tiani Key, like I said, Clara Strack, Jordan Obie, all scored in double figures for the Wildcats. They shot 52% from the floor. They entered the matchup number 20 in the country, I'm sorry. And Louisville was 21st. Kenny Brooks is 2-0 against the Cards since coming to Lexington. That's a big plus.
It's his second season in a row that he has started 7-0 at Kentucky.
I'll tell you where they won, too. They dominated the glass. 41-27. I think 5 of the starters had 7 rebounds. Strack had 10. Hassett was the only starter not in double figures, but she did have 7 rebounds. I felt like the defense held Louisville to one of their worst performances in the third quarter. Less than 40%.
A little tidbit about Amelia Hassett. So in the first half, Tijania, I don't know how she pronounces her name.
Roberts, she had 22, yeah.
She had 19 at halftime, okay? And she was absolutely just keeping the Cards in the game. It was a 2-point game at halftime. It was 37-35. She had 19 at halftime. At halftime, he went to Amelia Hassett and said, I'm going to put you on her. I want you to shut her down. She made 1 field goal in the second half. She had 22 points.
Laura Ziegler played good too. She was 4 of 7 from 3-point range.
Yeah, second half especially.
And for those wondering, this Wednesday, I'm guessing, is the Maryland game. And
yeah,
it's at 5:30 for those that want to watch. So,
yeah. So, John, I want to ask you a little bit about the play of Tony Morgan. I don't know if you know this, but Tony Morgan is leading the country in assist.
Oh, she's just doing her thing, man.
9.2, I believe, is what she's averaging. She's leading the country in assist.
8 of 16 from the field. She had a team lead, 19 points, 7 assists. She had 5 rebounds. Clara Strack, like I said, she had her double-double. The front court for Kentucky is shining right now, Brad, and they're making a big difference in these games. I'll say this. Tony Morgan continues to play this well on the perimeter, assists, giving the girls the ball, sharing the ball around.
She got to the hoop. She made some really tough baskets inside. She's only 5'8". So,
Wildcats are going to be tough to beat when she's rolling like this.
Yeah, and then I do want to bring up Clara Strack and Tiani Key. I mean, like you said, you've already mentioned that they've both had really good games, 17-10 for Clara, 17-8 for Tiani Key. But Tiani Key she had 4 blocks, and she had 2 or 3 just massive blocks in this game to stop runs. One was at the end of the first half, where she went on and finished an and one after a block on a fast break. And then towards the end, Louisville had cut it to an 8-point game. It was 67-59, and Louisville had cut it to an 8-point game and had the ball, and Tiani Key just laid one back and said, nope, not today.
I'm going to tell you what I really thought was helpful in this game, especially in the third quarter, was when Coach Brooks went small.
Yeah.
You know, we had Lexi Blue, Jordan Obi,
Yep.
Amelia Hassett. Was it Tony Morgan? I think
Tony Morgan, probably Asia Boone.
Oh, it was Asia Boone. Yes, Morgan, Lexi Blue, Jordan Obi. You know, Roberts. She was getting wherever she wanted to go in the first half. She was going back everybody.
And Amelia Hassett got put on.
All of a sudden, she couldn't do anything. And Kentucky had their best shooters on the floor, and the game was over. Now, Louisville did start the fourth quarter on an 8-0 run, which caused Kentucky to call a timeout. Then Kentucky kind of went on another run. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Louisville. Louisville's a good team. Kentucky was just a lot better today. And, you know, like we said, Kentucky follows this up with a big non-con game. Maryland coming up in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Maryland 6-0. They're looking like one of the top teams in the country that's going to be playing for a Elite Eight, possibly a Final Four. But let's say this, Kentucky is good too.
Actually, that number is wrong. Today, a new poll come out. Maryland went up to number 7. They are now number 7 in the new poll. They were number 9 last week. I had put this in. They're now number 7. The new poll come out today. So, and Kentucky went up to number 16 in today's poll. So we got a matchup of number 7 versus number 16. John, this is part of Feast Week.
Yeah, this going to be a fun game. I like this game. You know, point guard play is going to be fun to watch in this game. You know, an early season loss, I don't think is really going to hurt you in this type of game, Brad. But I would love to see the Lady Cats win a game like this. Early in the year, put it on their resume, you know, build for the NCAA tournament seeding-wise.
Those quad one wins and things like that matter.
I've always said it. The committee, when you go to Selection Sunday, they look at this whole week from every single angle and every single team and how they produce in some of these tournaments.
Yeah, this is like the Puerto Rico Classic. This is part of Feast Week. They are going out to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and flying out. They're playing 2 games. There's one on Wednesday and one on Friday. The one on Friday is a small school, Morgan State, but they do have the one big game here on Wednesday night. I think it's at 5:30 Eastern time. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 5:30 Eastern time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 5:30 Eastern time.
There, it's probably a different time compared to here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it probably is.
So they're probably playing earlier, maybe later. I don't know yet. But the time difference is a big difference when you're playing in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but it's 5:30 Eastern time for everybody.
But like you said, it's 5:30 Eastern time here.
Now, we'll tell you guys, it's on some kind of weird channel down there, Flow Sports.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of Flow. It's a new network that's been out for a bit.
So I'm going to guess the only way anybody can see it is to pay for whatever you have to for Flow Sports. With this game, unfortunately, I'm going to look into it before Wednesday, but I have not done it just yet. But I will be following this game very closely. I'm hoping that the women can go in and continue the climb. This women's team. The one thing I like about this women's team and Kenny Brooks, man, is he builds confidence.
Let me tell you something else that I noticed.
They're very confident.
I was looking at the score, the box score. Tony Morgan was plus 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's been playing. She had 19 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover in this game. That's all she had was 1 turnover.
Played 38 minutes. She was 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 8 of 16 from the field, and 19 points, and she was plus 12.
Yep.
Now, I'm telling you, if you ain't got a chance to watch these girls, I posted it Sunday. If you don't have a place to go, if you don't have any plans, get out to Memorial Gymnasium. Watch these girls play. There's going to be plenty of good games in Memorial this year. There's going to be some probably top 15, 20 matchups. So get out there and support these girls.
100%. John, we are going to switch it up. This is actually a picture of Kentucky and Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. We were there with Eric Bird from Bird's Eye View with College Sportscast. This is a picture from that game, but today, just a little bit ago, in the SEC tournament in Savannah, Georgia, in the semifinals, Kentucky defeated Tennessee again 3-1 and advanced to the finals tomorrow in Savannah, Georgia.
Tennessee played really well.
They put up a really good fight. Kentucky had to fight to get the 3-1 win today.
Hayden Kubik had 25 kills for Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah. Brooklyn.
And I'll tell you something else that they did really well.
Brooklyn Delay had 22. Eva Hudson had 18 kills. Lizzie Carr had 9 kills today. I got to give Molly Tuzzo a little bit of credit. She had a career high 25 digs today. So got to give her a shout out here. And one player that come in late in this game, the third and fourth set, that I thought really helped out off the bench was Brooke Boltema. She's not played a ton this year. She played a lot last year. She's kind of been Ava Hudson and Cassie O'Brien and a few others have come in and kind of taken her spot a little bit this year. And Brooke come in off the bench, I thought, in this Tennessee match today and had 3 or 4 kills, had about 3 blocks late in this game. And I thought she was a difference maker.
She was. And Cassie O'Brien had 46 of those. And with 8 digs and 3 block assists, listen, Cassie Bryan has been one of the best freshmen in the country. Lizzie Carr played good. She hit 364 and had 5 block assists. You know, Jordan Daly came off the bench, provided a big spark for them. Molly, like you said, had 13. They're going to play the winner of Texas A&M. Listen,
which is playing right now, by the way. The Texas A&M is playing right now while we speak. I have turned it off so we could do this show, but they are playing right now. I think Texas won the first set.
For the Kentucky,
I will show this because Tim said Texas won the first set. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, defense is important. Kentucky had 7 digs, 9 total blocks. Tiozo knows that defense is really important. She talked about that after the game.
Tuzzo, she is so tough, John. Molly Tuzzo is so tough.
Yeah. DeLay, Hudson were good. DeLay had 22, hit 370, had 10 digs and an ace.
He also had 10 digs. Yeah.
Hudson kind of figured it out. 18 kills, 4 digs, and 3 blocks. The stars weren't the only ones doing it. It was some of the role players, the bench players. They was just getting it done for the Cats. See, that's where they have a lot of depth.
Yeah, Washington come off the bench. Baltimore come off the bench. Excuse me. Sorry. But, yeah, man, I mean, they get a lot of production.
They do. And that's why I feel like they have an advantage when you go into this tournament, this NCAA tournament. They got depth, and they got enough depth to get to the Final Four and outlast a team that sort of don't have that kind of depth.
I mean, once you get to the NCAA tournament and you start getting to some of these better teams, they kind of do.
You're going up against a little bit better competition, yeah.
But tomorrow is the finals of the SEC women's basketball or women's volleyball tournament. And Kentucky is going to be there. They're going to play the winner of this game that's going on right now between Texas and Texas A&M. They're both top 6 teams in the country. They're tough.
They're good.
Texas is number 3 in the country. A&M is number 6. It will not be a cakewalk game. It'll be a tough game tomorrow. Kentucky is trying to win the SEC tournament after 9 straight regular season SEC championships. Yes, you heard me. That's a power conference record, current record. No other team in any other sport has more than 9 straight power conference championships. Kentucky has 9 of them, and they won the one just a week ago and is trying to add the SEC tournament. This is the first time the SEC has had a tournament in 20 years, so it's a big deal.
I'm going to be like Daryl Bird. Are you all right?
Me?
Yeah. You keep sneezing and talking.
I got a little cold. It'll be all right. I'm sorry. I got a little cold, John. It'll be all right. I'll survive. I'll make it through. The one thing I want to get to on the women's volleyball real quick is Selection Sunday is this Sunday. And Kentucky, with this win tonight, I would think most likely has already locked up a number 1 overall seed. Yeah, Nebraska, I'm sure will get the top number 1 overall seed. They're still undefeated, but Kentucky is number 2 in the country. And no matter what happens tomorrow, I feel like Kentucky will likely be a number 1 seed.
Yeah, they're probably going to be a 1 seed. Nebraska's probably going to be the top overall 1. It's going to be interesting who gets those last 2, though.
Well, Texas is playing for 1, and honestly, if A&M could run it out and beat Texas tonight and Kentucky tomorrow, they might slide into a number 1 seed.
It's not going to be an easy game, Kentucky tomorrow. Either way you look at it, Texas A&M, both of them are really good. Texas pushed them last week, so Cats got their work cut out in front of them for tomorrow.
The other number 1 seed could come from the ACC. Most likely could be Pitt or Stanford from the ACC. And I would say those are the teams that's probably in the running for the number 1 seeds in the NCAA. There's 64 teams that make the field. The Selection Sunday is this Sunday, which will be November 30th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And the games begin December the 4th, I believe, in the NCAA tournament for NCAA volleyball. So it's coming up here early. It'll be going on the first 2 or 3 weeks of December. So here at College Sportscast, we're going to keep up with the NCAA volleyball and the Kentucky Wildcats because we like to cover and do coverage, media coverage for the Kentucky volleyball team. Just give a huge shout out to Coach Skinner. Man, he is just tremendous, absolutely tremendous job that he does with these girls. All right, John, we're going to get to men's basketball. So they had a win over Loyola the other night, and you were there. So I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about the Kentucky win over Loyola the other night.
Yeah, you had the lineup change. They energized the lineup. Cam Williams, Malachi Marino got starting spot. Odi Abate out. Brandon Garrison went to the bench. And I felt like it really paid off, Brad. They jumped out to a 50-20 halftime lead. The ball movement was a little better. They rebounded the ball better. I felt like the energy on the defensive side was there that had been missing against Michigan State. Marino and Garrison played probably about the same amount of minutes in the first half. The difference was Marino with his 2 assists. Garrison, I think, finished with 1. The thing about Brandon Garrison, Brad, I've said, is his inconsistency. One week he looks like, he's going to take over a game, and the next week he just looks like he's not in a groove. And I feel like, me and you talked about this, I really feel like Malachi Marino should be at the 4.
I mean, I thought Marino played good. He blocked some shots. He had 8 or 10 points, I think, the other night. And I thought he played pretty well. Cam Williams was also in the starting lineup, and I thought he might have been one of the better players on the whole night.
He was. This was his best stretch of the year. 20 minutes, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He had the 1 steal that led to a dunk, and he provided a spark that Mark Pope had been seeking from him. In the second half, like you said, it was more the same. They kept the pressure on. You know, I'm going to tell you this. I know some people are saying, well, you don't get much out of these games, but it helps your development of some of these players to win these games and kind of get right for a bigger game. I don't think these games are that bad of games, but you got to play these games to get to the big games. And you know, I've heard people say, "Well, I hate playing these games. These games are terrible. You don't learn anything." Well, no, you learn a little bit. You learn a little bit about your team. You try to mix the lineups up. You try to develop some of these guys to let them play some minutes and figure out what you can do later in the year when those kind of times come up.
Yeah, I mean, you got to develop players. I mean, you can't play 13 games against the top 13 teams. Nobody does that.
No, I agree with you. It's, you know, and then you had Pope kind of mentioned a little bit about, you know, the shift going to the 4, like with Muhammad Diabate with his ankle injury. I think he had in Madison Square Garden. Cam Williams took that spot. I feel like Cam is a good part right there. And I don't know where you go with this lineup forward, but Pope talked about it after the game. He said, we need him to be great, Brad. He's going to be great by the end of the year, but he's got a long way to go. So,
I mean, I actually thought Brandon Garrison played a better game the other night off the bench as well, to be honest.
I did. You know, the defense was better. They held the Greyhounds to 29%, 21 from behind the arc. They forced 16 Loyola turnovers. I think they scored 33 fast break points. In the end, you know, 42-point win. You know, he put the walk-ons in, Walker Horn, Zach Toe. You know, these games matter. I know fans get upset over this, but these games matter when it comes to developing players, developing talent, trying to figure out where to put certain guys at because, you know,
it matters about rotations.
Rotations. Here's the thing. Jaden Quainance is coming back pretty soon. We all know that. And I've seen everybody say, well.
Most people that have common sense know that.
Have common sense know that. Yes. I've seen some say, oh, he ain't coming back. He's going to be on the bench all year. He's going to be another Shaden Sharp situation. Listen, the guy would not be doing what he is doing on the court.
Working too hard to try to get back.
Working too hard to get back. I was on the court Friday night. I watched him up close. He was dribbling the ball. He was doing layups. He was doing everything.
Now doing 2-on-2 drills.
Yes.
Physical contact.
He's not going to do that if he's not going to be able to come back. I'm sorry. It's just not. So,
no.
Like I said, in the night, they won this game. They play Tennessee Tech the day before Thanksgiving, which is Wednesday.
Yep.
And then they play North Carolina.
So we played Tennessee Tech on Wednesday night, and then we have a little bit of a break here after this game. My guess is the kids will get, maybe get to go home if they choose, if they want to, and have a little bit of a break. But before that, this game, John, what I would like to see is I would like to see somebody just come out and continue through the 40 minutes. A couple of players come out and play a full 40 minutes. My problem so far with this team is we don't really have, I told you the other night,
the effort.
Well, it don't seem like we have a killer instinct.
No, it's not there right now.
And I don't mean as it comes out as the whole team, but like Colin Chandler and Otega Owe the other night in that game, they started the game playing great.
Yeah.
I mean, Oway come out, scored 6 points real quick, and Chandler had 11 points by 10 minutes to go in the game, and then wound up with 13.
Well, he had the defensive pressure early.
They start out great, and then they just disappear.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, you had Oway's effort speech that he talked about him lacking 100% effort. He delivered that, I think, Friday, the defensive pressure. We saw a couple possessions where he went
great defensively in the second half.
We saw a couple possessions where he's really committed to the defensive end. I feel like that's where his game's going to build. If he's going to get to where he needs to be, I think he's going to have to play a little defense and fight with that effort that you saw in the first half. And I'm going to say this. Everybody's been kind of bouncing off Brandon Garrison. I felt like he played really well. 11 rebounds. And I feel like Brandon's in that point to where he has to earn and prove himself. And I think that's where he's going to have to, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be sitting on the bench. And I think that's what happened the other night with Cam Williams getting a start. Like, you're going to have to go in there and do your job. And if you don't,
well, let me ask you about Cam Williams. And I want to ask you about this. I think when Cam is out there in that position, in the 4 position, I think he spreads the floor.
He does
a little bit.
He spreads it out.
I think that's going to open things up for Oway and Chandler.
It is. And I feel like when Cam is in there, it kind of opens up the offense where they can spread out and they can kind of, do their thing offensively. Because you look at the first half, there was a time in that first, I think it was the first 15 minutes, where the ball movement was so crisp. It was whoop, 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 whoop. It was just going around to everybody. Even Jasper Johnson had a nice play. I texted you during the game. I said he put the man on skates. And
yep.
I mean, there's so much talent on this team, Brad. And I know people are down on this team, but there is a part of me that says this is not the end result. And I'll say,
it's early in the season. All these fans that are doom and gloom, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, you can go on somewhere. Like I just don't have time for that. Now, if we're in February and we're still trying to figure it out, then maybe. I mean,
Well, here's the thing,
Don.
If you look,
I'm pretty sure we're still in November, right? It's still November, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it is.
As John Rothstein says, it's still November.
I'm pretty sure it's still November. The best I know.
To be fair, on the fan side of things, you're going to have to start winning some of these non-con games that are top 25, like the St. John's.
When December rolls around, if they can't win a couple, 2 or 3 of them, why there might be something to worry about.
Maybe some talk, some conversations. Yeah. But here's where I go with this. I know everybody's saying, well, we don't have this. We don't have that. We don't. Listen, Jaden Quaintance changes the whole dynamics of this basketball team. To me, he's the best player that's going to be on the court for the Cats, besides Oway. Top 15 pick.
Shoot, maybe top 5 or 6.
Top 5 or 6. He can spread the defense. He can rim protect. It opens up the defense to play better.
Plays with power. Guys, it's been a long time since we had a player that played with the kind of power that Jaden Quaintance is going to play with once we see him on the floor.
Eating the glass, the rebounding, the defensive focus, attacking the rim.
I mean, I'm trying to think back. I mean, maybe a Julius Randle, maybe. I mean, I can't even think of a guy that played with that kind of power in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, he plays with it consistently. He's always got a motor.
I mean, on the defensive side, he is going to cause havoc down there with blockouts, rebounds, block shots. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
He'll change this team dramatically when he gets in the lineup.
What's up, Shane? Glad you stopped by, man. Good to see you.
Like I said, they play Tennessee Tech. They play North Carolina next week, which we'll cover the North Carolina game a little bit Monday of next week. So
we will.
They should win this game tomorrow. I think it's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm getting my days mixed up. I'm getting like Brad. I'm forgetting about things. But Tennessee Tech should be another easy win before Thanksgiving. Kind of get some guys in there to, fix the rotations, kind of use your bench to kind of figure out what you want to do and kind of get that fifth win and kind of get a little confidence going.
I agree, John. We're going to get to some football talk here now. There really is quite a bit of stuff that we could talk about, that we could start with here. I'm going to kind of skip over the Vanderbilt game. I'm sorry, guys. John, if you want to talk about it for just a second, you can talk about the Vanderbilt game. I'm opening the door.
I mean, it wasn't pretty. I put it in that category. Diego Pavia had one of the best games.
Let's put things into perspective. Vanderbilt has a legit shot.
Yeah.
If things go a certain way, they have a legit shot of making the college football playoff.
Let's be honest, Brad.
And Kentucky is not close to that right now.
Frankly, the game wasn't even that close. The 17 was just, add-on garbage points.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia had such a huge game, probably the best game I've seen him as a Vanderbilt Commodore. I felt like he was playing on steroids on a video game, Brad.
I will say this about the game the other night. Was it ESPN or was it ABC?
It was ESPN.
ESPN.
Yeah.
ESPN, I get it. Y'all like Diego Pavia's mother. I get it. Lord have mercy. I swear, if we were playing a drinking game, every time they showed this woman the other night, we would have all been, we would have all had over 100 shots. Every single person on the planet would have been drunk as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, please, for the love of God, why are you showing this woman over 100 times? I swear it was over 100 times.
Listen, I'm just going to get to the point. They could not stop the passing attack. It felt like the Tennessee game a few weeks ago, Brad. They looked helpless. They couldn't, the vertical game.
Thank you, Michael, for the update.
Now, to be honest, the injuries was really a big factor in all this. The lack of resistance was really painful. Now, they're probably going to be meeting a Louisville offense that is pretty bad. They only scored 6 points against SMU. Miller Moss, we don't know if he's going to play. Kentucky needs to win this game, Brad. I've said it.
Thank you, Shane. I'm glad we wasn't playing shots, having a drinking game every time they showed her.
And keep Cutter Bowley, like I said, healthy. There's one game left. If there is one positive for this whole year, Brad, it's been the play of Cutter Bowley. Now, he did not play great against Vanderbilt, but it's still pretty much clear that Bowley is quarterback one, and they should build this offense around him.
He come on in the fourth quarter, John, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think our offense showed up until, play calling, everything showed up until the fourth quarter.
Well, he got hit in the neck that forced him out of the game, and they brought in, Calzada threw a pick. There was no chance to win this game Saturday, and I'm going to tell you why. They were eating that front six of Kentucky's all night. They was just swishing right through them like Swiss cheese. Kentucky
Shane, wait a second. That's exactly what I told John. Who do they think she is? Taylor Swift? I mean, come on.
But let's move on. It was a bad showing. But the one thing I want to ask, Brad, to you is what was the offense doing in the first quarter? Like, was they playing not to lose? You know, you've done all of that.
The past 4 weeks before that, the offense looked like they had turned a corner and looked like they had found some stuff and had been playing really well. And then the first half, this against Vandy, they went back to what they looked like against Georgia.
It felt like they was trying to do too much running. You said, because you texted me, you said, keep running the ball.
Yeah.
And they couldn't run the ball.
Down 20-some. That's the thing, John. We only had like 31 yards rushing all damn day. The whole game. Why are you running the ball down 30 points, 25 points, 30 points?
Well, probably to keep everybody healthy and ready for Louisville. But at the same time, if you've not been able to run the ball all night, well, why don't you throw the ball like with the Miller kid? He made a big catch late. Why aren't you throwing the football and getting at least some positive things happening going into the Louisville game? I don't understand sometimes what Bush Hampton is thinking when it comes to play calls.
Well, in the defense the other night, I mean, Lord, the defensive backs, I think they were playing with their 7th or 8th string guys for part of it, and you could tell.
It was tough.
I mean, honestly, you could tell. All right, getting to this Louisville game that's up on the screen here. I mean, Kentucky is playing for a shot here at a bowl game this weekend. It is on the road in Louisville. Louisville's lost 3 in a row, John. They really have not played well lately.
They've not. They've been injury plagued all season long. You know, the quarterback was out this past week. I think they had 6 points, if I'm not mistaken, against SMU. This is Louisville's 3rd loss in a row. They're 7-4. They was what? Was it 7-1?
Yeah, they were 7-1. They've lost 3 in a row.
They was 3 of 12 on third downs. They could not get anything going through the air. SMU almost had 500 total yards, Brad.
Yeah. And they lost to California. They lost to a mediocre Clemson team.
Virginia in overtime.
Yeah, that was earlier. And then this past week, they got trounced by SMU. I don't know if the quarterback, Miller Moss, is going to play. Isaac Brown has been out the last couple of weeks or more. I'm not sure.
I do know Chris Bell is not playing.
Yeah, Chris Bell, the wide receiver, is not going to be playing. They've already announced that. So they are missing some pieces here from this Louisville team. If Kentucky has enough players to be healthy, especially on defense, I do believe, John, this is a winnable game. What do you think? Do you think it's a winnable game?
I think it's winnable. The defense has not been playing good for Louisville. You know, their offense has not been clicking. You know, look at Kentucky. They struggled against Vanderbilt. You know, the offense was bad, but the defense did not have any help. You know, they had a bunch of guys out, a bunch of injuries. They're going to get, I think, 2 of those guys back this week. Now, they did lose 2 more today, according to Stoops at the postgame. Listen, 5-7 with a loss.
I don't know.
To a bad Louisville team. I don't know.
If you want to know what I think, here's what I think. And Stoops tonight, I'm going to go ahead and say this, on his radio show, announced on his radio show that Cutter Boley will not be putting his name in the transfer portal,
which is a good sign.
that he will be back. That is what Stoops said. That's the plan. And I'm guessing that Stoops is going ahead and putting that out there so everyone will know that Bowley's planning on being back with Kentucky as long as there's no major changes. I'm guessing that's what the announcement was for.
So where do things stand, Brad? You pulled off 3 wins in a row. You're at 5-5. You lose to Vanderbilt. It seemed like the seed had cooled a little bit. Now, after a performance like this, it might get hot again. How hot is that seat determined on how you beat Louisville next week? Louisville at one point was a dark horse to win the ACC.
They were 7-1. Yeah,
they beat Miami. They at 7-1. They've lost 3 in a row, 2 at home, and they had the blowout loss to SMU yesterday. A win over Louisville for me would provide a much-needed shot in the proverbial arm for a program that to win a rivalry game, make a bowl. Now, a loss, I feel like, puts Kentucky in a very bad spot going into next year.
But my question to you is, what do you believe? I mean, if Cutter Bowley is back, what do you think that will mean for Kentucky team going into next season? Win or lose on Saturday, what do you think that will mean for the fans? Do you think that will be enough for the fans to move on in the offseason and get behind Kentucky if there's no major changes?
Well,
with Cutter Bowley being back.
I'm trying to stay neutral on this because we cover the Cats.
Yeah.
But okay, let me put it this way, Brad. There's a lot of fans that still support Stoops. Let's put it that way. And there's a lot of fans that are on the outs, okay? To be honest, you get 4 straight wins. You beat Vanderbilt. You make 5 in a row against Louisville. It would have been no contest. Now you have that embarrassing game on Saturday. The Kentucky program is in kind of a position. I don't know. Will Mitch Barnhart retire? That's the rumor going around KSR and all other places. Like, there's so much happening. Does Barnhart still stay? Do you allow this? Barnhart's different when it comes to, firing people. You've known that. I've known that. He's very old school when it comes to things, and I like that about somebody. But I feel like in my opinion, he's intent on bringing him back. But Saturday felt like
4 weeks ago, I never thought we'd be even in consideration for a bowl. So
but the other side
we are in a better position than I thought we would be.
But the other side of the spectrum is this. I don't care if that's number 15 team in the country. You don't lose a game in that magnitude against Vanderbilt.
Shane says true fans will get behind Cutter Bowley staying. My question, John, I know that you are getting kind of tired of the same old, and being in a position like this year after year. I know you are as a fan. But my question to you here is, Cutter, if a coaching change means that Cutter Bowley and a few of these pieces are going to be in the transfer portal, do you think fans would rather see Cutter Bowley stay, a Lexington native who is a Kentucky boy who is showing some signs of being a top SEC quarterback in a year or two?
Yeah, he's got 17 touchdowns, Brad, 71 rushing yards. He's 64% passing. He's had, I think, his year 2 totals. This is, I think, counting his first year, 2,308 yards. Listen, Bowley is a tough competitor. He's got great leadership. He's the future of this program, Brad.
If it's going to cost Boley, what do you think they should do? That's what I'm asking.
I think you got to keep Stoops.
That's what I think.
You can't, and I know fans are not going to like that. I know there's a lot of people upset right now, but here's where I kind of want to go with this, Brad, real quick before we log out. I think what you got to do next year, you got to keep some of these pieces, like the Miller kid.
Yep.
Monte Dowdell, Cutter Boley.
You got Patterson. You got Willie Rodriguez.
I think you go into the portal and you find some wide receivers, some top-notch receivers. Use your money wisely and get Boley some threats to kind of open up this offense. But I will say
you got to find a few offensive linemen too, probably.
You got a few, and maybe a few DBs. Honestly,
yeah,
a few guys in the secondary.
Yeah.
Now, Ty Bryant has played as good as anybody. I'm all for keeping Ty Bryant. I'm all for keeping I can't think of his name in the back end.
Nichols,
Grant Guyton. I think he's played really, really well.
Yeah.
Listen, Brad, as a fan, I feel like there's some changes that need to be made, but do you really make this change with all the coaching vacancies wide open this season? That's where I'm at with it.
I think that we're in the wrong
LSU open, Florida open, have Washington State is open.
Colorado State, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State is open. It's a bad year for coaches to be switching back and forth to different – unless Stoops walks out, which I don't think he will. He made a statement today that he's been a Kentuckian.
He's a Kentuckian now.
This being home. So I know fans are not going to be happy about it.
And then tonight on his radio show, he announced that Cutter Boley will not be in the transfer portal and that he will return next year. So I think that's all positive signs. I really do.
Michael Coleman made a good point. You talked about this a while back. You said, do you feel like the Stoops situation is similar to Cal?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I feel like it is in a way. I mean, I'm hoping that with Cutter Boley and possibly a new offensive coordinator that we can see a major improvement.
But do they really go out and get an offensive coordinator, though? That's the question. Like, do they bring – there's a few contracts expiring, coaches' contracts.
Let's go get Chip Kelly. He was just fired today. Just saying.
And the thing is, like Stoops made a comment about today. He said he had sit down with Barnhart a couple of times and said that there were some coaches expiring. Their contracts were expiring.
Yeah.
He would sit down with Mitch at the end of the year and decide all that. So, I don't know, Brett. I feel like you bring him back. You see what happens. If you get to this point again next year and you don't make a bowl,
then you have to make it. You have to make a different decision. I feel like
to make a different kind of decision. So at the end of the night,
but I think Cutter Boley is a very important piece in Kentucky history, in Kentucky lore. To be honest,
Brad, he was Kentucky's highest-rated in-state recruit.
Yeah.
He's sitting behind Rock Vandergrift.
He is a hometown kid. Everyone in the BBN knows how Kentucky feels about their homegrown kids.
Here's the problem.
Chip Kelly would be a Yahtzee. Absolute Yahtzee. Go get him, Stoops.
How did it take, 3 or 4 games to figure out that he needed to be in the offense?
Well, I mean, it was 2 games, but I don't know, man. I think they went out and spent a bunch of money, and because they spent money, they felt like they had to try Calzada, to be honest. But I think it had to do with money, to be honest.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But Boley is the future of this program, and I believe that he is going to be key on what happens with this program. I'm hoping that after Saturday, John, that we have an extra 3 or 4 weeks of practice and that we are looking forward to a bowl game. I don't care if it's the Texas Bowl or if it's the Las Vegas Bowl or if it's the Liberty Bowl. I don't care what it is this year. We didn't get to one last year. It will give us money and income quite a bit overall from the SEC and from the bowl. $4, $5, $6 million, depending on what it is.
Somebody had made a comment today, said that I didn't care if it was the Cheerio Bowl.
I mean, honestly, it'll give us an extra 3 to 4 weeks of practice, which will be really good for a lot of these kids that haven't got a lot of playing time this year.
Exactly.
And it will just grow this program in the off season with a bunch of young freshmen and sophomores that next year should be ready to go, especially with an extra month
I'm
of practice.
I'm going to add to this before we get off the Louisville game. You're coming into this game, Brad, beat up. Louisville's beat up. Kentucky's beat up. Louisville's beat up on defense, offense. Kentucky's more beat up on defense than they are offense. They got most of their starters healthy on offense. Now they had a few out. They had a few guys out, but not many like they do on the defense. You approach this game like a bowl game, okay? This is it. You lose this game, you don't go to a bowl, you don't get the extra practice, you don't get anything. And Louisville is absolutely reeling right now.
They are.
If Kentucky could go in there and kind of keep the offense straight and not, kind of make the same mistakes they did at Vanderbilt.
You have to come out fast on offense. You can't lollygag around, run the ball 6 times out of 9 plays. You've got to put some pressure quickly on this Louisville team.
Get them down, say 17-0, 21-0,
or 10-3 even. You've got to put some pressure on them early in this game
to get them out of their ordinary ways. You've got to figure out a way to get them down early to make them and punish them. Let me even just go back to say like the Florida game, to where the point of submission.
Yeah.
Put them away.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And I feel like, to me, that Kentucky can do that. But going out on the field is a different story. This is a big game, Brad. I say that not even as the future of the program. I feel like this is a big game because a lot of people are going to criticize this game if we lose. Because
this is more than just a rivalry game to me. This is about
a future.
This is about the future of the program type game. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just feel like a game of this magnitude, you lose this game, and a lot of fans were saying, early in the year, well, if they go back-to-back 5 and 7s, will they bring Stoops back? Well, if they get to a bowl game, they most likely bring him back. Now, you lose this game, you go back-to-back years 5 and 7, 2 bowls that you've missed.
They were 4 and 8 last year, technically.
4 and 8,
so, but still,
2 back-to-back misses on the bowl seasons. Fans are not going to be good. I can just leave it at that.
The only thing we're going to have to hold our hat on is Cutter Boley, possibly, and a few of these other pieces to go with him.
But let me
it's not just Cutter Boley. A few of these other pieces have got to stay with him.
Does the Kroger? I was trying to think what I was getting ready to say. Does Kroger Field next season Do ticket sales go down with a bad
If
year?
Cutter Bowley and a few of these pieces are back, I don't think it will, because I think fans will be excited, because Cutter Bowley will probably be considered top 5, 6, 8 in the SEC next year.
But what I'm saying, Brad, not getting to a bowl game, though, does that push a
but
few fans away?
Pre-season, in the offseason, there's going to be a lot of talk of the growth of Cutter Bowley. He's going to have a lot of expectations. And if Cutter Bowley's back, I think Lexington fans, Kentucky fans will come to see Cutter Bowley.
I'll tell you another thing that could go south if it does. I'm not saying it will, but the portal. You lose a bunch of guys, though, and go down quick.
I said you got to keep some pieces with him.
That's what I'm saying. You lose a couple guys, and they're gone into the portal.
You have to keep some pieces with some of these nice young pieces with Cutter Bowley.
What you got to do, you got to go into the portal. You got to get some linemen, some offensive linemen. Get some DBs. I'm not talking just any DBs. I'm talking pay some of these DBs some money.
Yeah.
Some top-notch guy, Alabama guys, LSU guys, somebody that has been in the SEC, to compete at a high level, and get some wide receivers, because you're losing Macklin. You probably want to have to get a backup running back with
you're losing Kendrick Law as well.
Law, which is a big loss. So you're probably do you lose? No, I don't think you lose. Do you lose JJ Hester too?
I think so. I believe Hester was a senior.
That's 3. So you're probably going to have to dive into the portal and get three or 4 wide receivers. What you already got in Miller, I think Farrier, is he back next year?
You got the 2 Miller kids. You got Hartley Gilmore. So I mean, there's a couple of pieces there, but they do need some wide receivers.
They do.
All right, man. That's it for us tonight, man. We are going to wrap this up, but we have a lot here to talk about, John. If you want to give us a quick look at the volleyball score and pull that up for us of Texas and Texas A&M, we'll give a quick update. Home field apparel. While he's doing that real quick, I do want to put this at the top of the screen. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
But hang on, John, before you get to it. So home field apparel right now, they are having Black Friday's fixing to go on. There's a 30% off sale going on through this weekend at Home Field Apparel. Go check out. Use our code CSCast. You can scan that code at the top of the screen, the left corner there. Use our code CSCast. It will also give you 30% discount this weekend off of Home Field Apparel. Get some really cool Kentucky gear.
It's back and forth, Brad. I think Texas won one set. Texas A&M won another set. So it's going to go down to the wire here.
Yeah, it's 2 really good teams. Just wanted to kind of give an update. Also, I wanted to give you an update, John. St. John's lost tonight.
They did.
Basketball. Iowa State beat them.
Houston barely beat Syracuse in overtime, 78-74. The shocker of the day was Seton Hall beating North Carolina State. And
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Seton Hall did beat them. They're 7-0 for the first time in like forever. Seton Hall
beat Oregon 84-73. Louisville won again tonight against Eastern Michigan. Kansas won against Notre Dame by 10 in the Era Classic. St. John's, like you said, got beat by 1 point. Tennessee pretty much decrescentated Rutgers. That's what you want. If that's what you want to put it. And no, they don't have Ace Bailey, and no, they don't have Dylan Harper. So that should tell you a little bit. Now,
all right, guys. It is Thanksgiving week.
There's a good game going on right now. If y'all want to watch it, Alabama and Gonzaga is tied at 36 right now. So that's a fun game.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving week, guys. and I'm not exactly sure. I would like to do a game day pick 'em this week because there's a lot of good games, but there's games on like Friday, so we might need to do it. We're not going to do a show on Thursday. Thursday is Thanksgiving. We're not going to do a show on Thursday. There's a chance we might do a late show on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. Or Saturday.
Or we're going to do a show late on Friday night or Saturday morning. I'm not exactly sure. I got to talk with John. We got to figure this out. We're definitely not going to do a show on Thursday night.
I could probably do Friday night if that's what you want to do. So
we'll see how things go. I've got some plans on Friday. Going to do a little Black Friday stuff, to be quite honest with you.
You buying me a present?
So we'll see. But anyways, tune in later this week. We are planning to do a show.
You forgot our famous Thanksgiving thing. We always do it during Thanksgiving. What is the number one thing you're most thankful for?
I mean, honestly, number one thing that I'm thankful for. Let's see. I'm going to be honest with you. For me in my life this year, my number one thing is my son's back in my life.
That's good. Yeah.
So
that's number one. Mine is family.
I got to say that's number one for me. Braided, love you, man.
And the number one thing for me is my family. And I've said it 100 times. You know, my mom and dad have stood there by my side over and over and over. And they've been behind me no matter how many times I get pushed down and how many times somebody throws my name in the mud. My mom and dad are always standing there over top of me, cheering me on. And I'm thankful for my mom and dad. And I'm also thankful for my little niece, my little baby sis, Kimberly Frederick. She's watching tonight. You're one of my favorites. So I figured I'd throw that in there. You're top notch. And
professionally wise, man, I'm very thankful to University of Kentucky.
Yeah,
and as far as us, doing the work to show you guys that that we're in this for the long haul and that we are willing to dig in and do whatever's needed to cover the University of Kentucky.
Thank you to Eric Bird. He will be at the Tennessee game tomorrow
night. Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And
all right, guys,
like you said, Brad, I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful to got to go to the Valpo game and the Loyola game. There's a few other games that are coming up as well. I'm just thankful for Deb Moore, Evan Crane, the whole crew there at
the whole University of Kentucky,
the whole university, for allowing us to do this and to get the opportunity to do this, because this is our one and only chance. And you talked about that early. You're getting at an age where this is it. I mean, it's and we're making the most of it. So, which is awesome. And by the way, Brad, happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much pecan pie.
I already had a piece or two. So, I started early.
Everybody, don't get him started on the pecan pie. I have to hear it from him every day.
I started early.
You did.
But if we don't see you before Thursday, hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving. We might see you guys on Friday night to do our game day pick'ems. Now, there's some games on Friday. If we do Friday night, that we won't be able to cover because there's like 4 or 5 games on Friday night this week that are really good games.
And I think the Maui Championship is on Wednesday night. So,
yeah,
there's. Oh, by the way, I just want to say this. Go Cowboys. Beat the Chiefs Thursday, baby.
Go back to the Lions Thursday.
Yeah. Hey, we beat the Eagles yesterday. I don't want to hear it.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. We will see you later in the week.
Yeah, have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving.